number 18. We are actually very, very lucky today because we have a long-time friend of the ecosystem, but first-time visitor to the Vibe Check, Mr. James Lusser. How are you?
Doing very well. Thank you for the warm welcome. Great to see you guys as always. I've been lurking, watching this tech space for a while now, but I finally was able to coordinate my schedule and join you guys live. So good to be here.
Oh, thank you for coming. It's kind of cool. We've had a few messages from just like I feel like it's like the old guard, the people who were around such a long time ago in 2025, but when Polkadot was still pink. It's funny how we've got like the before and after rebrand of Christmas 2025. But good to see you, Limo, Flipchan. How you guys going?
Good.
Very good. Keeping busy.
Yeah, it's a bit like that, isn't it? We've got a few things which I wanted to cover off this week. So I think it's actually quite interesting. I'm going to launch straight into it this week. So our good friend Tommy, Alice and Bob Tommy, actually has come up with some pretty interesting tweets this week. So and he's kind of clicked back into Polkadot gear. And so I thought this was an interesting one, just saying like, what are Polkadot products? He's finally got it. I know he's been tweeting every single week, and I showed one of his tweets last week about all the new terminology. But he's saying here it's clicked for him. This is the first time it feels like Web3, but this is his thread to try and explain exactly what's been launched. And I think this was really cool. So like you can kind of see, we were talking in the pre-show about how like at the Web3 Summit, like a lot of stuff got talked about, but not necessarily released, perhaps like what we were hoping to. But Tommy's got a really cool thread here, which starts to explain a little bit about some of the products that's actually coming, talking about how he plans on using them. What does it all actually mean? Bulletin chain, which Flipchan flagged here ages ago. And then just talking about like the DevNet products and I guess everything that's happening. White Rabbit coming and chip in, which is always good. You know that Polkadot's up and about when the White Rabbit's around. So I thought this was an excellent tweet and actually shows like him playing around with the DevNet. But who has insights here? Who sort of like drilled down on any of these products? Anyone? Nope.
I mean, there's bits, but I think Tommy's explained quite a bit. But this goes into what we were saying like during the Web3 Summit, where Polkadot's moving towards this like human coordination, unstoppable products for people, right? Like the chat app, like being able to host like websites basically, so they can't be taken offline. That in combination with light clients is pretty good. If you have stuff that certain people don't like, it's all pretty good. I am hoping that we get more released stuff soon. But I see Tommy at the end did link some docs to like the DevNet stuff. I'm sure if you point Claude towards that and like the Parity Tech repos, you could probably make some quite cool stuff.
Yeah, I think there's like actually been a bit of discussion going on, and that's what I've done. I've sort of started training my Claude how to just go through everything Polkadot right now, which is kind of cool because that means I can just pepper it with questions about what's going on. Flipchan, you're probably more technical than me. Not probably, you are more technical than me. Anything significant this week that you like sort of have drilled down on?
You mean related to this one or like in Polkadot general?
No, Polkadot in general.
Yeah, it's been a few things. Mostly it's been like there's been a new update in the Polkadot SDK and they added all these like chain extensions now, and those aren't like those are fucking up a lot of things. So there was like a week ago that they started Polkadot.js on the testnet started breaking, and now now it's been like permanently broken on testnet because of these new chain extensions. So Paseo testnet has been wrecked, or it's not the chain hasn't been wrecked, but Polkadot.js, which is like everyone uses them, all the wallets, everything relies on them, and they don't work on the testnet now. So that's been a bit of a shit show. And also what's been big is the Kusama ref passed. I don't know if you guys saw that. basically to upgrade. Now we have two types of palettes on chain. We have the multi asset palette and the regular bounty palette, and now they've been upgrading the multi asset palette, and also Web3 Foundation went in and funded the first wave of projects. So basic. I don't know. Should I do the background on this? Or?
Yeah. No, give it to people who don't even know, because
Okay,
we
so
probably
this
do
is
have some
like
new people coming.
a promise that came out of the Polkadot ICO, which happened like 2019 or something like that, and they said like 1% of the Genesis allocation will go to Kusama, and now 2 years, and then 2 years ago, Bill started talking about this, and people were like, we need to bring in a new life to Kusama. And then Bill Laboon at Web3 Foundation put up a ref, basically saying that the dot community or the Kusama community instructs the Web3 Foundation to give them 1% of the Genesis supply, which is 10 million dot, that will go into Kusama to bring new life to Kusama after being promised like 5 years ago. And so they're gonna basically take this 10 million dot, and then they're gonna like drip it in to these free bounties. So as a result, like 3 piles of this money is gonna end up in 3 different piles, which are the art bounty and the proof of personhood bounty and the CK bounty. And James is actually from one of the other bounty. You want to give a bit of overview of your bounty and what are you guys up to?
Sure. So I'm part of the Art and Social Experiments initiative. And like all the bounties, we all kind of got to work at the beginning of this year and we got everything together. But then, you know, there's always some challenges that come with it, right? So we, on the art side, we got the website launched, we got all the processes and procedures in place. We started accepting applications. We had a nice flow of applications at the beginning, and then it sort of paused because we needed these runtime upgrades to go through before we could actually do anything. That finally happened, and so hopefully now we're gonna be able to actually disperse funds and get some of these projects going. And also now that we're funded, we can finally, I can have the comfort level to actually promote this wider than we had. I think when it first launched, it primarily came from within the traditional Polkadot ecosystem, but because ours is more like a traditional art grant initiative, we are reaching out to really non-tech audiences, really the art communities. And it'll be exciting to really start promoting that and hopefully getting a lot of interesting applications from outside of the ecosystem as well. So looking forward to seeing how that goes.
Also, what's important to notice is like your Web3 Foundation is funding, but all the bounties, they're like curated by entities that are outside of Parity and outside of Web3 Foundation. So the bounties make their independent decisions, no matter what Web3 Foundation thinks, so or what Parity thinks. So each bounty has special selected curators, normally 5 per curator, 5 per bounty, and these decisions are completely separate from Web3 Foundation or Parity, even though we work together with them as well. And that's pretty exciting because it's been like 5 years in the pipeline, and Bill's been talking about it for 2 years, and now it's finally live. And I'm helping out on I'm part of the cryptography bounty, which has also been, like James said, we've been going since January, accepting proposals, and we have one team that started working in February, and now we're able to pay them out. So that's pretty dope. And I think like a lot of all the bounties, they will keep giving updates now when they're basically free to fund the first wave. So that's really exciting. It's like new life into Kusama. And also to notice, this is like, I think one of the few active grant programs in the ecosystems, and Web3 Foundation retired their grant program. And a lot of parachains close theirs down.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's good. It's good that something's kicking on. That's the main thing, because I think Limo shared this one, and I thought this was kind of interesting as well. This is probably the thing that is the most active right now inside the ecosystem, is the bulletin chain. And so, like, you talk about life inside the ecosystem. I tried to load this website, but it didn't. Oh, actually, maybe it is going to work for me. Hey, all right, we've got it. This is like dot metrics. So this is sort of like, I guess, what we're trying to actually track the activity of what's going on here, Limo.
Yeah, so these are all like the deployed things, I believe, on Bulletin Chain. Some of them are in French, which makes it awkward for a non-French speaker to understand what they are. But some of the cool ones that I have found in like the 2 minutes I've been looking, there's like one called Discreet, which is like, I guess, Calendly kind of thing where you can book a meeting with somebody, but you need to prove you're a person. There's a review one. So like using some open maps thing, you after you've proved you're a human, you can leave a review to avoid, bot review bombings. There is, I was just playing while you were talking. There's a Tetris one, so I was just playing Tetris real quick. There's a bunch of stuff. If you click any of them, it then like expands it and it says like open like the thing. So there's one called like True Reviews, which is a bit down, and you can like click that and it opens the application. So it's pretty interesting.
True Reviews. Let's see what we can find here.
It's like a blue colored.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's like a proof of concept, but it seems to. I mean, you can see where it's going, right? Like if you have like a review platform, I guess being botted is kind of sucky. So having it so that everyone that's ever left a review is a real person could be pretty good. It does take a while to load because it's using small dot, and you're quite far away from stuff, I imagine. But
where am I in the world? Well, it's actually fun. It's actually funny. You can't see it because of our heads, but in the bottom right-hand corner it says here, get the full Polkadot desktop experience. So it's trying to route me towards getting the actual Polkadot desktop.
I think if you press the use trusted provider, it uses the RPC instead. So you connect directly and it goes faster. Yeah.
Here we go. It's coming.
Thank God for RPCs.
There we go. All right, cool. Yeah, you can see where this is going. Hey, like it's going to try to make this feel like a very Web 2 experience. I'm guessing
there's like
a lot of these
one as well, where like you can post the petition and then people who sign it are like verified people as well, which is pretty good.
Wow, it's very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bit going on here, and I think this goes back to the conversation that we had last week, which I don't know if you caught this, James, but I'd like to hear your insight on this as well. Have you followed along much on this Jam KB token idea at all?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys saw this for this week from Max. So this is interesting here, saying that like their wish for change that they've put out is that they want to burn all the dot that the DAO obtains from Jam KB sales. So like you can show that Max obviously is involved in the ecosystem financially, running the fund, but everyone's like brain is already now kicked into gear and like, how is this going to play impact on the ecosystem? And we have all kind of talked about this in the last few weeks, that it does feel like that the shift and pivot away from being like a blockchain crypto project to being just like decentralized internet or for the free internet is really on now. But the thing I guess we've all got to figure out is how is this going to be priced in to the actual dot token is going to be as we hit, I think all-time lows is what we said at 75 cents at time of recording. Yeah.
A lot of what he's wrote makes sense, right? I think parts where it falls down is potentially this initial price of this Jam KB stuff, right? We spoke before about probably some kind of like LBP, liquidity bootstrapping protocol mechanism could help with price discovery, but how probably it's a good idea to allocate some jam KB to like parity, for example, temporarily to showcase what's possible. I think that people are concerned if we give some jam KB type parity, then they'll never give it back. It's just there. It's always theirs, and people maybe don't like that. An idea could be that teams that we want to give loans out to just prove the tech and showcase what's possible, that they could do some like an over collateralized loan, right? So like, let's say that we're like, we don't know the price of this, but if you want X jam KB temporarily, you should like deposit 100,000 dot, whatever the number is, into some contract or whatever.
Yeah,
and then when you send it back, you get the dot back, right? Temporarily, because I think what he said is if we want to learn out jam KB, that the team should approach OpenGov to get the dot, then buy it. But then that does use up the treasury, which might not be the smartest use of that resource. So I agree with a lot of what he said, but I think some stuff, there's maybe more than one way to skin the cat, if you know what I mean. But I like the fact that people are like thinking about this and people are discussing it, right?
Yeah, I would agree. I was happy to see the forum post. I'm happy that people are actually talking about it. Because of everything that's happened, there is no sort of centralized place where lots and lots of people gather and talk openly about all of this stuff. So I'm thankful for this X space and a couple others that I'm aware of. But yeah, I echo you, Limo. I think there's a lot of it does make sense. I think there's other things that we need to continue to talk through, but I'm just happy that it's going in that direction.
Because the risk is if we give grants of jam KB out, I mean, you can go back like 2-3 years to like the height of OpenGov when people just like promised stuff and then didn't deliver, and there was no like recourse to get money back, for example. We spoke about like potentially the PCF could do like a contract with these teams that we give these loans out to, so there would be like real life repercussions if the rug or like sell the jam KB on like a DEX or something. But I think the over collateralized loan thing is it's like an easier way of doing it, maybe, where they put up some skin in the game, and then if they decide to just sell the jam KB, obviously there's a potential that the price of jam KB then becomes worth more than the debt, and then they just like sell the jam KB because it's worth more than the debt. But we need to showcase what's possible to then be able to price jam KB properly, and then we can start like an LVP mechanism afterwards. I don't think you can price it without understanding what this allows compared to other crypto tokens, if that makes sense.
And educating people on it are going to obviously be the first thing, but showing why it's valuable. And if no one's got access to it, you can't show that it's valuable. And that can't just be just parity either. That needs to be like someone needs to build something cool on it to show, to make other people want to build other cool things on it as well. And that's what will give it its intrinsic value. Like I actually quite like the idea that it's like tethered to like DOT or like tied to DOT, and like DOT is the collateral asset for JamKB. Like I think it can be a win-win for both. I mentioned it again that I was one of the people in the camp in favor of the rebrand. Like I think the fact that Polkadot is so different now from what it was, like I don't think that would hurt our cause at all. And how you could actually then change some of the tokenomics between and the relationship between JamKB and DOT or whatever, like a rebrand of that would be, what I think would actually be really cool. But because they're so materially different now from it just being a parachain, like collateral asset, like it's a totally different ecosystem now. It's a totally different project.
Yeah, and like after parachain slot auctions went away and crowd loans and stuff, it like people got confused on like how, like what is DOT for? Like it's just for staking because cores were not expensive. But other ecosystems that utilize like Polkadot's tech, like BitTensor, have like a different way of doing it, right, with their subnets and stuff. So I agree. Sales of JamKB, I think banning the DOT does make some level of sense. It's just that initial grant thing that I probably disagree with Max on. I should probably like write it on the referendum. But overall, I think it's relatively fine what you proposed with some changes.
I was stoked that there was an opinion because like you said, we can all like have alternative opinions. The worst thing is if no one cares and no one's got an opinion. So like I was stoked that there's actually an opinion out there, which I think is great. Anyone on that one before we move off? Any other comments before we move off of that one?
Nope.
All right. Well, I'll throw this one to you, Limo, because this was you playing around on the staking pools. Yeah, not staking pools, but yeah, hit us here. What have you found?
So I'm like writing an article about staking currently for Nova Wallet stuff. And then in my research, I found there was a lot of validators that don't meet these new minimum requirements. It was 604 of them. So it's permissionless to children, which means they like stop producing blocks, whatever. But it's all ones that were not active; they were just waiting. So it just moves them out of the waiting pool for now. But the more interesting thing is in the second tweet. So based on my like AI summary, there's like 16.8 million DOT that's staked with chilled validators. Maybe you need to click on that, and then there's 16.8 million DOT that's staked with chilled validators, and 157 of 204 nomination pools, so 77% of all nomination pools, are now nominating a chilled validator, which is like almost 17,000 accounts. People should probably rotate validators if they don't know that their validators are chilled. And also probably exit nomination pools that are poorly operated, which is most of them. My personal stance, and I work for a wallet team, is just staking a nomination pool for the wallet that you use. It helps the wallet, be that like the Nova Wallet, Talisman, sub-wallet, because they normally nominate their own validators, which makes them money. They're less likely to increase the commission of their nomination pool, because why would they when they're already making money nominating their own validators? Because there are a lot of pools that have increased commission, because now validators cannot increase commission. They're all 0% forced commission now. But the nomination pool, I believe, can increase commission. And there's one pool in particular, I forgot the name of it, but it's in this article. They incentivize users to join their pool and then increase commission. And it was like a nightmare to leave because you had to unstake for 28 days. So just be careful on who you're staking with. Like, make good decisions, and probably support your favorite wallet said nomination pool or validators. That's what I would say.
Let's be honest. Support Nova Wallet, everybody. We're not sponsored, but hook a brother up here. I think you are
I'm effectively
the most
sponsored.
Well, we are pretty like limited in our choice, and so I think Nova is doing good work. So yeah, everybody get involved if you're not already. I think even Talisman labels themselves as a BitTensor wallet now, don't they?
Yeah, they have a lot of users that use BitTensor. Their implementation is pretty good, to be fair. And it also helps them make money and be self-sustainable, which is good.
Yeah.
I also think, Limo, it's just good guidance that you're mentioning this, because I consider myself fairly active in the ecosystem, and I'm equally guilty of not reviewing my validator selections on a regular basis. So if I'm not doing it, I can imagine the vast majority of holders aren't either. So,
and it's especially important to do it now because they added these minimum requirements for validators. So one of them is a 10,000 DOT minimum self-stake. All these ones that I kicked out did not meet that self-stake requirement. So if you're nominating those validators, they don't have any skin in the game, so they're not incentivized to like act properly, right? Because now they moved all of the risk onto the validator themselves and not the nominator. So if the validator misbehaves, it's the validator itself that gets slashed. The nominators don't get slashed anymore, which is why this self-stake's being added, right? So yeah, if your validator doesn't have self-stake, then there's no incentive for them, right? Which is why I chilled all of them when I found out.
Interesting. Just a couple of last little public service announcements. I think we've now missed the Moonbeam period. Is this correct? Or is it just about
2 days? It's 2 days. So
yeah, 31st. You're right. 31st.
If you have XC.dot, XC, USDT, USDC, like XCM that back to Asset Hub. If you have Glimmer on hydration or whatever, move that onto Moonbeam and then either sell it if there's any liquidity or bridge it to Base. There is an official tweet from the Moonbeam Network Twitter account. That's the link you should follow. There's loads of scam Telegram groups that people are inviting everyone to. I got invited to like 5 of them. Report them if you get invited to them. No one's going to DM you, but you should move your stuff off of those chains.
And Interlay is already done, yeah?
Yeah, Kintsugi and Interlay is already done. I think most stuff was off potentially. But yeah, you really should, if you're listening to this and you haven't done it yet, you should do it like immediately if you have any amount of money. I have like 10 cents worth of Glimmer side.
You better go get it, mate, because it could be worth 7 cents soon. So go sort it out.
Yeah, liquidity is running out.
0, 20 million.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other last public service announcements from anyone this week before we wind up for the week?
I want to circle back to the AI Summit, or the Web3 Summit, just for a second. I did not have the opportunity to attend it, but I know that they finally released most of the videos recently. So if anybody has not seen them, go through that playlist because there's some pretty interesting talks therein. And then, following the Alice and Bob thread, there are a lot of really interesting projects being built right now. And if you're not aware of them, check it out because you might find something that resonates with you. I personally, you guys probably know Sean Coe, who works for Parity, and he's based in Boston here in the US. And he and I are close. We talk on a pretty regular basis. And we just talked earlier this week. He sort of gave me his download from Berlin also. And for example, there's one particular project that just resonated with me personally. It has to do with Venezuela and independent journalism and how blockchain might help solve some of those problems. They presented in Berlin, and I'm reaching out to that project this week because hopefully I can contribute in some way. But there's just some cool stuff happening. So with all of the bashing that's happened in the last 6 months, there is some glimmers of interesting activity happening. So I would say take a peek and find something that works for you.
What's the name of the project?
Effective Kakuyo. But
okay,
stay tuned. I'll tell you more when I learn more. I'm hopefully talking to the team next week.
I did a look. Thanks for that, Richard. It's not Richard, James. I was going to say, because I actually spoke to Richard this week, as what was my announcement was going to be. I did the roundups and actually found that Richard's still building over in his project has just escaped me for 1 second.
Excavate.
Excavate, tokenized housing. I did hear that that's still on, and they're still working on that. And I did hear that the Kylix team is still working. And so there is still teams who are still trying to get by. Obviously, it's the same challenge all the time. That it's like the market, and it's like who can stay solvent longer than the market can stay rational. So there is still like teams who are trying to still do stuff. I'm just throwing up this here as well from the chat. Let me just pull this one up. We've got a launch bill here.
Yeah, in like the RWA kind of space as well. Hydration's launching Bill, which is Brazilian invoice loans. So this is like providing funds for like real life stuff, and you earn like an actual yield on it. It's pretty interesting. Hydration's doing quite a few of these. Prime is very similar from Hydration. I think even the protocol itself is getting involved in some of this BIL stuff. So it's pretty interesting. RWAs seem to be pretty interesting space at the moment.
Yeah, it actually is. I won't leak this too hard right now, but like my involvement, so I'm still obviously on the Mandala Council, and the Mandala Council does have a product that's coming to Polkadot shortly as well that was back with the microloans. And so I'll have more information on that shortly. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff. There's a whole bunch of stuff coming soon, and I think there are still people working on stuff. So we'll see what still lands. We'll see what lands on Polkadot. There might be a bit of stuff coming soon. So we'll see who's still alive and kicking. I think we're just needing some like glimmer from the market to actually show people that they can actually still deploy and still run a business here. And I think there was a lot of uncertainty in the first half of 2026. And so, but there's still people around. There's still people around doing stuff. So,
And one more thing I want to add, because I know FlipChan is far too modest to say this every week, but like he continues to crank away on the Kusama Shield project, and new updates happen all the time. And if you're not familiar with it, check it out. And I'm just really happy to see you continue to build that out. So nice work.
Yeah, the new release coming this week. Stay in is pretty cool. It's gonna be. I don't want to spoil too much, but I showed the interface to Limo. You've seen a UI screenshot of the new interface. It looks pretty dope. It's gonna be quite an upgrade. The Web3 privacy guys, I showed them also as well, and they were saying, "Oh, it looks amazing." But yeah, they might come like shielded the dot transfers, and then the cost to shield is like 0.01 dot or something in transaction fees. Which there's a lot of big cool stuff coming out. It's pretty good, pretty dope. Stay in touch. Probably end of week, hopefully.
FlipChan, you are actually way too humble on this. You should shill Kusama Shield a lot more here, I think. We should have like a segment for you, I think, at the end of each show.
Yeah, and we also have the Kusama Shield is also all the code is open source. So this week we published a new Python library that's like I think it's like 17 or 15 times faster than the Node.js library everyone else uses. And we keep improving the like Poseidon running on PolkaVM is still the fastest CK implementation of this specific algorithm. That's the fastest in the industry. It's running on PolkaVM, and also the CK Bounty is also publishing optimizations for PolkaVM. So there's a lot of things happening in CK and PolkaVM space, which I'm pretty cool. But stay in touch for the end of week or maybe early next week. There's a cool new release coming out.
Or maybe next week we can do a specific section on Kusama Shield.
Yeah, we should do a live demo. I think.
Yeah, let's do that next week. Lock it in.
And then lastly, if anyone hasn't looked at Hydration lately, they had their newsletter or whatever come out recently, and they have some interesting things happening too, as they always do. So check that out.
Love it, everybody. Fair bit happening. Look at that. Middle of a bear market, and we still punched out past half an hour full of news. So everybody, if you haven't already, make sure you follow along each week. It's good to see James here. Thanks for coming, James. That's it. We are professional wafflers. But yeah, come along, and anyone else who's like a friend of the family, you want to come and join, come drop in, please do. And we'll see everybody same time, same place next week.